Hello, everybody. It's been a long couple weeks here. How about we just do a little video here and have an animal of the day? Today's animal of the day, right here, mollusk gastropods. If we were in school, these would be the worst notes of the whole year. I would not mind if you go to sleep. In fact, I'd encourage you to go to sleep because these notes are boring. What we're talking about is mollusks gastropods. They have a shell. They crawl around on their belly. What we're talking about are snails, chitons, limpets, and nudibranchs. The first 40 minutes of class, I talk about the snails, and that put everybody to sleep. But before I do that, I'd have to give you some general information, like what they eat with. All of mollusk gastropods, they eat with the radula. The radula is a scraping tongue. So they crawl around on a rock, and with their tongue that has these tiny teeth, what they do is they just scrape algae off a rock. It would be a boring, boring life. Next, how they reproduce. They reproduce by external sexual reproduction. External means that the eggs get fertilized outside the body. So the female's going to lay their eggs on a rock, and then the male's going to come over and fertilize it. Let's not talk about that anymore. Types. First type that we have, we got our snails. Again, I talked for 45 minutes telling you about the snails. That there's just one that's called the black turban snail. It's about 1.5 inches big. The black turban snail has 4 whorls that makes up its shell. The black turban snail can live for 100 years. Wow, what a life. Crawl around for 100 years, scraping algae off a rock. There's one called the purple ring top snail. The purple ring top snail has a purple ring that goes around it. It's found on colorful seaweed. We talk about the dog winkles. The striped dog winkle has a stripe on it. The frilled dog winkle has these raised ridges on it. And then the channel dog winkle has grooves cut in the shell. I'm probably boring you right now, so I should move on. The next thing, next type on my fancy dumb board are limpets. Limpets, they look like these little volcano shells that are on rocks. So you turn over a rock and you see this little thing stuck to a rock. It's a little triangle. That's a limpet. Lots of different limpets are in the Puget Sound. There's one that's called a plate limpet. There's a file limpet. There's a white cap limpet, and there's a lot more. How exciting is this? Now, the next one are these chitons. In both the videos that I made, the one down at Golden Gardens and the one down at Smith Beach, found chitons. You turn over a rock and you're going to see this thing that's just absolutely stuck to the rock. It's kind of like oval shape, but a little bit more longer than a true oval. It's made up of 8 plates that are held together by this muscle that goes around it. And it just sticks tightly to a rock. And again, with this radula, it just goes around that rock and it scrapes algae off the rock. There's 3 types that are common here in the Puget Sound. There's the mossy chiton and the hairy chiton. Both these are almost identical. They're about 3 to 4 inches long. They have hair on this muscle that goes around them, and that hair is called the girdle. The mossy chiton has stiff hair, and the hairy chiton has soft hair. That video that I showed you down at Smith Cove, I said, you know what? If you find one of these and you take a picture at it at 2 different angles, you could probably tell me one is the hairy chiton, one would be a mossy chiton, and I wouldn't know the difference. The next one is the Cooper's chiton. The Cooper's chiton, I found one down at Smith Beach. They're about 1 inch to 2 inches long, and there's no hair on the girdle. Really, there is one exciting mollusk gastropod, and the only exciting one are these ones here, nudibranchs. Nude means naked. What they don't have is a shell. So what they are just like land slugs, but they're out there in the ocean, so they're called sea slugs. Now, nudibranchs, since they don't have a shell, they'd be very vulnerable. There's just a soft body, so things would go up there and eat them. But what nudibranchs do is they go around, they eat sea anemones. With their radula, they go up to an anemone and they just scrape it apart. Now, an anemone has the spring-loaded darts that are filled up with poison. So what the nudibranch is going to do is going to eat the whole anemone, and then it's going to take the poison and it's going to store the poison on its back. Now, if you're a poisonous animal, you want to tell everybody that you're poisonous. If you are poisonous, you want to say, don't even eat me. I feel so much more poison, I'm going to kill you. In order to do that, you're going to be brightly colored. So these nudibranchs are brightly colored. They're colored in yellow, they're orange, they're blue. And what they're doing is they're telling the whole wide world, don't mess with me, I'm poisonous. I'm going to give you another video that has underneath the water showing you some nudibranchs. Nudibranchs are fascinating for divers to see because those tentacles are just waving back in the water, and again, they're brightly colored. So divers love to go see them. And hopefully when you see that next video, then you'll go, wow, I want to be a diver. Many of you will be. Well, that's it. It's Mollusk Gastropods. Today's lesson would have lasted 80 minutes. Some of you would have only been awake for 5 minutes, and I want to put you to sleep for the next 75. Let's not do a homework assignment today. You know, you're stuck at home. You can't go to the beach. What are you going to do? You might be hitting a little bit of cabin fever right now. And, you know, if you have cabin fever, there's a couple great marine biology videos you could watch. One is the series that I show a lot in class called The Blue Planet. The Blue Planet has about 12 hours of video, and it shows all the oceans. It was one of the first videos that came out that really explored the oceans and what life is like in them. 10 years after Blue Planet 2 came. And what they did is they kind of built upon what they filmed in Blue Planet 1. In between the Blue Planet 1 and Blue Planet 2, the Planet Earth series came out. And the Planet Earth kind of shows, it shows the whole Earth and how animals and ecosystems in the Earth live in there. And there's 2 episodes that deal with the oceans in there. One is called The Shallow Seas, and one is called The Deep. So you got cabin fever, you love marine biology, you miss class. How about this? Just go up to Netflix, go on Blue Planet and start watching. Man, the whole day will go by. You know, it sounds pretty fun right now. I think I'll go do it right now. All right, I'm going to do some kind of live video chat on Monday. It's going to be awesome. Talk to you later.